Hello, everybody. This is the second time I'm recording this video because my computer likes to play tricks on me and change my default sound settings. Anyways, I just want to briefly say, and hopefully I can cut down because it was quite a long video before, but buckle up, get some popcorn because it may be long again. This is a topic I'm very, very passionate about. I've played the Company of Heroes franchise since pretty much it's existed. I started playing the original Company of Heroes in 2009, 2008 or 2009. I was in college. That was how I saw somebody else playing it. I was like, oh, what's this? And pretty soon I was super sucked into the game. It was a great game. And I've been playing it ever since. I couldn't tell you. I'm not like an ultra amazing player. I've got 2,500 hours in Koa 2, so I've dedicated a significant portion of my time to playing the game. But, and with that said, you know, with someone who's dedicated that amount of time, even just to that game, I'm sure it's like, I have to have at least had 1,600 hours at Koa 1. Like, I love this game. There's something about it that resonates with me. I'm a veteran. I was in the Army for years. Okay. This game is one of the closest to what it's really like. Not to like be a soldier, but this is the closest thing to like fighting in combat that I can think of. You know, the way that you position and move around the map, the way that, you know, like machine guns do have like a fan of fire, and the way that you integrate those into your defenses and the way that you attack. The strategy is very realistic, tactically speaking. Okay? It's very, very accurate. Now, I've played just short of about 100 hours of Company of Heroes 3. Okay? For the past week, I haven't really played it. I kind of got just a little, maybe I hit it a little too hard when it came out. I played halfway through the Italian campaign. I played the DAC campaign. I played multiplayer probably like at least 60 hours of that. You know, the campaign didn't take that long. I was going to check out the 1.1 patch information because I wanted to see some of the unit changes. I somehow stumbled across the forums page and I saw this Baiga man posted this pretty spicy comment. It said, uninstalled this mess of a game. And of course, being intrigued, I had to read it. And I'm going to say from the outset that I believe this guy has a lot of valid criticisms. Some are not, and I will highlight those as well. But, you know, I'm not like a big time, nobody knows who I am. That's okay with me. I mean, that doesn't bother me. I'm just saying, I feel like a lot of these things are being said by sort of the big names in the community, and I'm not sure that other people, that the developers are really listening like they think they are. And I suspect, as with all organizations, you know, I know that there are a lot of former players that are working for Relic now. These guys should know better. All right? They started with, and this guy starts out with, oh, I feel like it's a step down from Koa 2. When Koa 2 released, it was trash too. And there was a period where I didn't play Koa 2 either. I went back to playing Koa 1 until they came out with the Western Front Armies and the Ardennes Assault expansion. And then I really felt like Koa 2 started to hit its stride. And to be honest, I kind of feel like that's what I expected with Koa 3. I knew coming in that it was going to be half-baked, and it was going to take them months to get the game, maybe even half a year to a year, before the game would be in a state where like I would enjoy it, or the balance would be somewhere in the ballpark or where it should be. And I'm starting to feel like this is just the Relic develop. We're just in the Relic development cycle. They haven't changed it at all. They just, they just want to say it out loud. And maybe what they need to realize is that they're caught up in their own development cycle that they could do to break out of. $60 for what is essentially an early access title. Look, dude. There are so many games out there that are in early access. Now, this is not an excuse made for Relic, but this is a stop being a whiny baby check and come back to reality. Okay? If I go to the Steam page right now, how many games am I going to find that are $30 that say that they're in early access? Playable, but in early access, and they're not finished, and they probably won't be finished for years. Okay? That puts them in really the same ballpark as everybody else. Maybe a little more expensive than those people. But they've also got, like, the game's much better than some of these other games that are coming out in early access. Again, not an excuse for Relic, but first, I'm sorry, but $60? I went to the store the other day. Now, this is just a complaint about the United States. And I bought, like, stuff to make, basic sandwiches, like bread and some, like, roast beef and some cheese and all the fixins, right? Dude, I spent more than $60. It was like $67, okay, for, like, mustard and bread and roast beef and all that nonsense. $60, I'm sorry, my dude, is not very much. So your complaint, and I'm not trying to be elitist about that, okay? If you feel like you didn't get what your money was worth, then ask for a refund, okay? And I'm not going to begrudge you that. I got 90 hours of play out of it. I didn't hate my time. That's less than $1 per hour that I paid them for fun. And you know what? I'm going to milk many more hours out of it. So it's not that much money. It's not that much. You could spend so much more money doing other stuff. Like, think about how many people go to Starbucks. Okay. I'm going to back away. This is a U.S. problem. This guy might not be from the U.S. based on the name. I don't know. Graphics look pretty much on par as the previous game, almost 10 years old. Yep. And this guy, Zade, shout out to him. Check out this video. This video nails it. Relic, go watch this video. Okay? Here, he shows this is the original Company Heroes. This is Company Heroes 2, Company Heroes 3. Anyone see any differences? Other than kind of the lighting and the general vibe? I mean, the infantry has not improved very much. And if you ask me, the sound got worse. Like, you can hear... I want you to listen. Koa 2 has great sound. Let's listen to the Garens. You hear how there's a good amount of bass. There's like some impact to those shots. And the STGs. They're not wanting to drown out everybody because gunshots are obviously so much louder than this. Now listen to the Garand here. At range, it would sound like that. When you're zoomed in like this, it should have more pop like that other one. Like the Company Heroes 2 version. It doesn't sound good. The sound is hollow. This is a 308 rifle, okay? .308 is a pretty large caliber, at least in terms of like, you know, combat weapons. Like, it has some oomph, and it's pretty loud when it fires. If you've never shot a Garen before. Here's another thing. I want you to watch this 50 cal. You see the smoke that's coming out of the barrel after he fires? That is a very accurate. It's like a really good animation. It gives it a lot of realism. Okay. Oh, here we're in Company of Heroes 3. First of all, look at this model. Like, dude, where is the fluting on the barrel? Where's like the heat shield? This is a different machine gun. So, you know, it's not going to look exactly the same. This is a 30 caliber machine gun versus the 50 caliber. But, and then like the tripod leg. It looks better here. You can actually see some of the heat shield and stuff. Still. That's the improvement. Look at the detail on this 50 cal compared to the detail on this 30. His hand, the guy's hand isn't even on the trigger. This is the trigger assembly right here. It's like a little pistol grip, and you squeeze the trigger. What is the dude holding on to? See on the look above. Look at this guy. I can't reach high enough. Look at where my mouse is. See how the guy's hand is on the trigger assembly? Where's this guy's hand? This guy's hand are on the butterfly triggers. Like, really, dude? Anyway, Relic, go watch this video. Look at your units side by side from previous, like literally where they're cut screened together, spliced together. Zade, good job, bro. This is exactly what people needed to see. In fact, we're giving it a like. And you should subscribe too. I don't think I have. We will. Okay? Dude earned it. Okay? 100%. We're only on step 2 for the second thing. Sound design is awful. I agree. It's just hollow. And a lot of the voice lines were reused, but they don't sound as good for whatever reason. And I'm like, they're the same sound lines. They're same voice lines. Why do they sound different? Anyway, and that's a bit lazy in and of itself. Just saying. Art direction is way more unrealistic. I agree. Now, this, I've been told, is to try... They were trying to merge the old Company of Heroes 1 and Company of Heroes 2 groups, and so they wanted to pivot back towards a less gritty style in the game. I personally do not think that that is better, because I want to be immersed in the game. I want to feel like the units are like real soldiers that I care about, and I don't want to lose any of them. And you know what I mean? I want to get like sucked into the game where I'm like, oh my God, there's artillery everywhere blowing up. And the Koa 2 just recreates, especially in like large team battles, the kind of chaos that you can't, it's hard to recreate that type of just mayhem and explosions and crap going everywhere that you just like, it's overwhelming. That is so realistic. It's sometimes a little scary how like it can like tap into something, inside of me. Um, it's just, and I agree with that when it's not as realistic. And I think it's mostly because the art hasn't really gotten better is the problem. Relic and their laziness couldn't be bothered to create new icons, so they reused the low-res versions from previous games. Guess all weapon upgrades are bars now. This is 100% a valid criticism. You need to fix it. There are, I can't remember specifically. I want to say, no, it wasn't the Jaegers. I swear there was a German unit that had like a bar icon for one of their upgrades, and I was like, no. Not okay. UI is some of the worst I've seen in a supposedly AAA release, both menu and in game. Yeah. The in game, not to the same extent. I don't feel that the in game has degraded. It's even maybe gotten better. First of all, the menu systems in all the Company of Heroes games have been pretty much trash. There have been some regresses from in game, like the machine gun facing that I know Tightrope has addressed that, and there are some other content creators that have talked about it. Those I believe will be fixed in time. But things that you can't really, are fundamental is like the menu. There's like a point where like if you finish a match and then it drops you from the stat screen, unceremoniously, you can't even go back and look at the last match's stats if it kicked you out early, which I don't know why that's happening. Maybe someone can tell me. I'm sure it's some reason that the queuing system is just garbage. There's no, like where's like the leaderboard interaction? Where's like I want to look at my profile and see how I've done. Like where can I look at all the games I've been playing recently? Relic, go look at other games' menus. What planet are you living on? Yours is like from 2009, back when I was in college. It's not the standard anymore, my dudes. You gotta get with the times. And the fact that I can't just like go back and do basic stuff like, the past 5 games, have I won or lost them? Who knows? They're in the ether. You can't go, unless I'm I'm the one idiot out here who can't figure it out. In which case, you need to cater to me because I'm the lowest common denominator. I'm not aware of any sort of like menu stuff. You know what else is a really simple but annoying thing? I go into a multiplayer game. Say I want to play 3v3. Let's just say I want to play 1v1 only. I hit multiplayer. I have to check mark 1v1 only. It kicks me. So then the game ends. I come back to the menu. When I hit multiplayer, I have to reselect all the same, or I have to reselect 1v1 and deselect the other ones again. Every time you come back to the menu, it makes you redo this. Just remember what I did last time. I am not a computer. I do not want to do repetitive tasks. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. It sounds small, but it makes your game look like garbage. And that's not what I want. I want the game to be everything that I love to play. But it's those little things that just ruin it, man. Okay, sorry. Being a diva, let me brush my hair back. Okay. UI is unresponsive. Click some buttons too fast and it won't register. Try it out by selecting a battle group with a free unlock and instantly unlocking the free upgrade. Is this a sentence? I can't. Try it out by selecting a battle group. Oh, he's suggesting you try it out. Go try it out by selecting a battle group with a free unlock and instantly unlocking the free upgrade. So he's saying if you go in game and you try to click on the free upgrade, you can't really. I'll have to try that. Yeah, there's some jankiness. He's not wrong about this. Get it fixed as quickly as possible. These are the types of things that I don't think ruin the game, but they certainly over time will ruin it if not addressed. And so were I in your position, there should be, I hope in the Relic headquarters, there's a freaking whiteboard right now of all the shit that needs to get done, right? All the problems that anybody in the community has come up with that are unique, unique ones, need to be written down, and someone needs to go up and cross them off as soon as they've resolved them. And then, like, who resolved it, you have to have some sort of resolution. I know that we're like in 2023 and no one likes to be held accountable for anything that they do and blah blah blah. Dude, get your act together, Relic. Run a tight ship over there. Start knuckling down on some of this stuff and have it visible so everybody knows what's going on and where their focus should be. Because if you don't address this quickly, now what does quickly mean? Dude, within like a few months. You've got a few months to hammer out some of these very, very basic things, or people are going to straight up abandon this game like they did last Koa 2, and you're going to be stuck supporting another game that was just as successful as Koa 2 was, which was like mediocrely successful, despite the fact that there are so many brilliant things that go into the game. All right. 16 gigabytes of VRAM for the highest texture setting. What have you been smoking? Not even Cyberpunk uses as much. I haven't tested any of that, so I wouldn't know if it tries to soak up 16 gigs of video RAM. Is there even a difference between the highest texture settings and the regular ones? Kind of doubt it. Can't see how many players search matches as access and allies. So I can't see, there was a function in Koa 2 where you could see what percentage of people were searching as allies or axis so that you could try to find or get in there quicker, I think. Although I'm somewhat wondering if that was a placebo. You know what the bottom line is? Fix the menu UI in the game so that it's not hot trash. How about that? Go to, it's a good example. Go to Dota 2. It's not an RTS game. Go to Dota 2 and look at their UI. Or honestly, anybody else other than one of your games. Yeah. No ranked at release. Yeah. You know why there wasn't ranked at release? You and I both know that they didn't have ranked at release because they knew there would be so many problems and it wouldn't be balanced enough to really be fair to have ranked. Right? Let's just be honest about it. If it's not there on release, this is the type of thing you got to tell. The competitive people are the people that will always come back to your game. Those are the really passionate people. And if you don't have that for them, then there needs to be a clearly communicated timeline of when they should expect to see it. Okay? There's no soon put it on the calendar, put a date to it, and hold yourself to it. How hard is that? No way to customize profile at release. Yeah, there should have been a few options. I'm not saying you had to have like all the options in the world, but it wasn't even clear to me that you could do things with your profile. Like I saw that I had a unique, everybody that bought the like premium bundle, basically everybody had the the special pioneer rank and like the little mohawk wearing rifleman or whatever. I don't know. Except for the few peons that like bought the game at the regular price. I guess they were the smart ones. But uh yeah, there should have been a few options, even if they weren't good ones, just so like people are like, okay, this isn't something that's flushed out yet, but it's there. And at some point, I'm gonna be able to like make my profile just the way I want to look, so I look badass when I strut in to the lobby, and everybody's like, "Ah, shit, this guy's got like, look at his background. He's got like, he's ranked within so and so on the ladder." Why not do that? Cosmetics based on ladder rankings. Swag, guys, swag. Everybody, all the competitive people, all the people that are going to continue to play your game for years want swag. They want to show off how good they are at the game. You should provide that for them. I guess you don't have to, but you'd be stupid not to. Can't see which teammate owns which units. Yeah, this is RTS Day 0 stuff, so fix it. Can't see which teammate has been replaced by the AI. This goes back to a much larger issue, and I will get to it because he kind of walks into the landmine. No surrender button. Yeah. Where's the surrender button, dude? 2 of my other teammates have left the game. Like, can I just, instead of having to feel like, oh, I guess I'll just leave the game too. Like, it's the Wild West of matchmaking. Your matchmaking system sucks. I will continue before I go on an insane rant. No leaver penalty. This game is released in 2023. Yeah. Bigaman is right. What are you doing? No match invalidation if someone leaves or crashes within the first 5 minutes. Just got to eat that loss. Exactly. You're on the ladder. Like, I am going to lose points on the ladder in a like team game if I do like 3v3s, which I like the big team games. I think they're fun because they, like I said, recreate the chaos of battle. That's just the mode that I find the most fun. I'm not saying that it's the most skilled. Definitely not. But Koa 2 was essentially, I found myself trying to queue for that one game in 5. Not, who am I kidding? That 1 in 10 game, and that might be generous ratios. That 1 in 10 game where I'm like, yes, I got teammates who are fighting it out. I got, enemies that are like meeting me on the field of battle, and they're not just flopping over, and we're actually trading blows. And I'm like, I feel like, the juices are pumping. I gotta like try and outthink this guy or outmaneuver him, or, bring something onto the battlefield he's not expecting. Try some tactic he won't, expect. I don't want to have to wait 10 games to get one game I actually enjoy. The games that are annoying should be in the minority. It should be 1 in 10 games where there's some, you can't do anything about toxic people per se. They're just always going to be out there. That doesn't bother me. But I join in a game and someone immediately just drops. What the hell is that? And now I'm expected to either like surrender or like quit myself or what? It's the Wild West. Let me give you some context here. I also like to play Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Counter-Strike Global Offensive has a huge cheater problem, okay? It's so bad. It's so bad that it has seeped into the very fabric of the game, where every time something kind of incredible happens, someone gets like a really crazy shot off on you, you start to like think to yourself, was that legitimate? You know, it's just so steeped in the problem. You know what? You know what that game that like refuses to basically on a consistent basis deal with these cheaters, you know what they have? They have a system where if you leave the game, you aren't allowed to queue for like 30 minutes. That's like your warning. Why do you not have that? That to me shows that you don't have any respect for people's time. You don't have any self-respect for your own game or like the integrity of those matches. I mean, you're even below Counter-Strike Global Offensive. I hope that seeps in the way that I think it should. Okay, even Counter-Strike Global Offensive punishes people for leaving the game early. They don't get rid of the cheaters, but they do punish people that leave early. And you need to as well, because otherwise they're going to keep doing it over and over and over. And for what reason? It doesn't matter. I have never understood why people were leaving those games. It doesn't matter why they're leaving the game. You got to punish them. Otherwise, they're going to keep doing it. There have to be consequences. Whew. I didn't want to have to go all dad mode, but geez, Louise. It's the same. It's the one thing I wanted you to fix about the game. I was like, if they fix this one thing where like people just leave willy-nilly and don't receive any sort of punishment. And the thing is right now, because there's no surrender button, you have to leave. Otherwise, you're just going to sit there and fight 3 opponents. Let's say, it's a 3v3, 2 of your teammates left. Now you have to fight a 3v3 with your dumb AI that can't fight its way out of a box. Or you leave like they did. You've tied the players' hands. They can't do the right thing because you haven't given them the tools to do it. And you're not punishing the people that are abusing. It's the Wild West. People are just running around doing whatever they want. It's not fun. Nobody thinks that that's fun. This guy says it. I'm saying it. I'm sure other people would say it too. Very few maps. This is your number one priority in my opinion. I haven't been playing recently because if I have to play one more 3v3 match on that stupid airfield in the desert, I'm going to shoot somebody. That's hyperbole. But you know what I'm saying? It's just I can't play the same like 2 maps forever. And there's so many maps that people have made that although maybe you can't directly port them over, people are like without content. This is multiplayer is your end game. The campaign's not that good, dude. They're not gonna replay it. It's not like Ardennes Assault. Ardennes Assault was totally. I've played Ardennes Assault 3 times at least. People are not gonna be replaying that over and over. In fact, I didn't even make it through the Italian one all the way through. One time. It was so boring. Poor map design. I don't know that I think that the map design is poor. That's not to say they're perfect. Every map is going to be contentious in some ways or other. and there's always room for improvement. I don't know that this is like a big deal, but you got to have more of them. And you don't need to recreate the wheel, dude. Add the old legacy maps that people liked into the game. Just add them, get them into the game. If you have to put somebody on, hey, guess what? You're the manual port. You're making the old map on the new engine or the new game, whatever. Tough. Who's paying whose salary? 4 factions that are way too similar. I don't really agree with this. Do kind of agree with this part of it. The auto reinforce. I'm a strong supporter of the auto reinforce. I want to make that clear. But what this is masking is actually a different problem, I feel. And I will get to that as he sort of. This guy clearly, like, he can pick out the problems, but I don't think he can pick out the causes. You know what I'm saying? Unit. So I don't really feel that. I think that there's enough diversity in the factions. Like the DAC are not even similar to the Wehrmacht in my mind. They play completely differently. And I feel that the Brits and the Americans maybe are the closest related. Yeah. The Brits and the Americans are the closest. But even they're have some unique differences. Unit overlap between factions on the same team. Is he talking about the tacticals map? Is he talking about like you can't select units when they're on the same team because they're overlapping? Or is he saying that all the units between the factions on the same team are the same? How is that different than any other Company of Heroes game? Just because you have the same units doesn't mean you are building the same units. Like maybe one person's going infantry focused because that's like the terrain that they're in. I think this is kind of a throwaway comment. I don't really know what he meant by it. If someone knows, shout it out, baby. Unit ability overlap between factions. Sure, some overlap is fine and even necessary. Assume that's sprint. But it is now almost no unit feels unique. Again, I'm not sure what he's referencing here. I'm thinking sprint is one that I see on a lot of units. I can't think of many other units that I don't feel are unique. Again, I don't know about that one. Gameplay is fundamentally broken. MG and rocket artillery nerfed into the ground. True. This can be fixed though. Making infantry blobs with a babysitting ambulance as the apex predators. It's a half track. It's a reinforcement half track. He's right. This is 100% the meta. There's nothing you can do to like really stop these blobs. Even tanks struggle against masses of infantry. Infantry are extremely strong, especially like the Brit recce packages. Oh my god, dude, they would rip squads apart because as you're trying to get into cover, they're just you've already lost a model or two and now you've lost the engagement because you're down while you were trying to get into cover and it's just the balance needs love. Snares are almost useless. The risk of rushing in with a tank. I don't know that snares are useless. Tanks and AT cans. It's the AT guns. It's the AT guns that are the problem. Rushing in with the tank is not risky because the AT guns cannot convert snares into kills. That is the problem. The AT guns, he's right. They hit the terrain all the time. And he's talking about, yeah, the Martyr. The Martyr, oh my God, dude. I don't even know why you would get this unit right now because it's almost impossible to use. The turret, there is a box. You know, the Martyr does have to generally face towards its target, but that doesn't mean that the cannon doesn't deflect and elevate a little bit. There's like gotta be 30 degrees of deflection on each side. So it's not like it always has to turn on its tracks. The way it is in the game now, the gun does not move whatsoever. It solely moves by track, as far as I could really tell. And even when it does fire, it T-bows stuff right into the ground in front of it all the time. He's right. It's just like something is wrong with the unit. It needs to be looked into. There's no... The DAC really struggle right now with anti-tank. And then what did they do? So what everybody was using Jaegers. That was like the way that you bridge the gap from like the early game into like the mid game. As you were like, okay, well, I gotta call in Jaegers because like those are the only reliable things that can do vehicle damage or meaningful vehicle damage. And then what did they do? First balance patch, they nerfed them. I was like, what? all the DAC changes. I'm not saying all the changes made no sense. I'm saying the DAC specific changes that they made in that balance patch, I did not understand whatsoever. They made no changes to the Panzer Grenadiers, even though they're like the worst unit in the game. At least they were like a week ago, the last time I played. And everybody's just building Bersiglieri. And then there's the Flak 36, which is like 15 fuel and is one of the best anti-tank weapons in the game. It's 15 fuel, folks. It's ridiculously cheap. And it's not really, I want to say it's 8 manpower, or 8 supply? I forget what the, yeah. Yeah, not manpower. Manpower is what you spend. I'm thinking of the supply cap. Building stuff is a real pain. Yeah, there's some jankiness with the click drag way that you lay down like your machine gun nest and stuff right now. I believe the best answer to this is something that you find in other games pretty easily. You click to build a building, right? You see the little ghost image of it. Just have separate buttons bound to rotate it. Why do I have to? The problem is right now you place it down and then you try to, you click it to place it in position and then you're supposed to face it. Well, sometimes if there's something blocking it, you can't actually place it there. And what would be better is just to have, a red-green type situation where it's like, nope, doesn't fit there, buddy. And you maneuver it in ghost mode and then you try to put it where you want to put it. I don't know, man. They seem like simple things. No crushing. Guess the interns couldn't figure this one out. Okay, don't take it out on the interns, dude. Crushing is a controversial topic. And yeah. I find this to be in the same vein as pathing through vehicles, the unit pathing. Here, let me take a drink, excuse me. Or phasing, I should say. The unit phasing where the vehicles would basically walk through each other. This is not I don't feel this is the forum for this. This has nothing to do with the quality of the game. This is a mechanic that if you want to argue that it should be present, fine, but it doesn't belong in this post. I think it doesn't belong here. Campaign is just the same 4 scenarios on the same 6 maps. Yep. AI seems lobotomized. Yep. You can just, especially on the ones, there's this scenario where it's like you're supposed to base lock the enemy and you have to like surround their base. All I ever do is I just build. I don't even build anything else. I just send out my units to like capture the points, and then I build 2 greyhounds, and then I just park them in their base and shoot at their headquarters until it's dead. And maybe 1 infantry unit comes back, but then I immediately murder them with said greyhounds, and I move on my way. I don't know why those kinds of cheesy mechanics are so easy. It's just do better. Why did the Co 2 campaign have full motion video and Co 3 animated stills are still in 4DP? Look, I like the stills that I think he's talking about. He's talking about like the mission briefing things. That kind of like gives you a feel for, and it's like the technology they had at the time. It's like, here's our projector. Maybe some people are too old to even know like what a projector or like a slide projector is, but which those are like pretty old technologies, I guess. But yeah. Maybe they used microfilm even back then. Anywho, I don't know. It just gets you into the feel. That's like the type of stuff. That's how they would have briefed it back in the day, during World War II. Imagine you were, maybe not in the field, but that's the type of stuff you would see maybe like in the Pentagon. And I just think it's kind of fun. And so I don't have a problem with these, but agree, these should not be missing. One of the best part about Ardennes Assault was the tanks crushing through the forest. Oh no, the USF, they're everywhere. We gotta retreat. And you missed a huge opportunity to teach people about the Italian and the African campaign. They tried to like tell this story of this Arab that was fighting, from oh my god. The city should be like fresh in my mind. Wow. All right, it's gone. Whatever. About this Arab man who fought for the British. Dude, like, you act like people even know what happened in Africa. Maybe a lot of the community do, but there are probably plenty of people who have no idea, and like maybe younger kids that have never heard of this conflict. They're not going to have any context for this. You missed an opportunity to like teach people about something that you don't get taught in school about, which is like the Africa campaign and the Italian campaign, and like what it was for the US and the British forces. I mean, they kind of got walloped, but they learned a lot, right? And I just think like there was such a beautiful opportunity to like teach people a little bit about history that you didn't take. Instead, you kind of made some half-baked fake story. AI is a joke. Yup. Elo matchmaking is broken. No separate ladders for pre-made teams. Is there like overt Elo matching? Is this like occurred within or am I just blind? I wasn't aware that there was like overt Elo matching. I'm sure there's like some sort of secret little thing, because I remember when I went into like my first multiplayer match, like the first day the game released or whatever, and I played some people. It was just like, I don't think these people have ever played this game before, because yeah, like not retreating, just basic stuff from the game they were not doing. And yeah, stat screen being a mess of vague and unnecessary statistics. Unit kills represent what? Whole squads. Why? Some units not showing up. Yeah, I think you could do, dude. You're dealing with nerds here predominantly. The stat screen matters. Okay, that's just the facts. And we want to know how many individuals were killed. And if you want to put squad wipes, I'm cool with that, because that is an important statistic, game mechanic wise. But when you only put squad wipes, it could be someone who didn't get any squad wipes the whole game, and they still like killed it, right? They murdered every model of every squad down to one, and they just didn't get any squad wipes. It just doesn't feel like, when you read through like the damage done, because vehicles have more damage, but you may not get as many kills. In order to understand your performance, you have to parse through a lot of this information, because of the way that the game is structured. And I think, this is like the type of thing where, why settle for the status quo? You could like come out with something really cool that people love. And it sounds petty, but people like love that type of stuff where it's like, oh dude, check out, like, you don't have to but like replay systems are huge, where it's like play of the game, Why did you settle for the status quo? There are moments here where I'm like, there was no ingenuity put into the game, no fresh ideas. You literally, now in my heart, I don't believe that you were like, oh yeah, let's just make a new Company Heroes 2 and slap a different number on it and ship it to the fans and make some money. But I can see where people may believe that. You shouldn't put yourself in that position. You want to leave no doubt in anybody's mind that your intentions were to make the best game possible. And I'm sorry, but like the community update videos, I'm not against them. I'm just saying that isn't necessarily going to convince everybody. Actions speak louder than words. Getting kicked from the stat screen when the host leaves. Yeah, annoying. Again, the menus suck. And why can I not, again, I think I've said this probably 4 times already. Why can't I go back and check the match stats? I'm a nerd. I want to read my stats. All right. Now we come to the final note. All of these are nothing compared to the worst offender, releasing a cosmetic shops as the first big patch. This shows that Relic is only in it for a quick cash grab. Okay. Biga Man. Let's just pump the brakes a second. Okay. This game is not made out of the goodness and kindness of these people's heart. This game is made as a product. They are selling said product so that they can feed their families, just like, just like any other person working in the world. Stop being a baby. If you don't want to pay money for things, then don't pay money for things. Just don't go in the cosmetic shop. It's that simple. There are people in the community that want this. I'm one of them. I may not like buy some of the stuff, but this is also disingenuous because there are things in the shop you can earn just by playing the game. Okay? So there is some freemium stuff. There is paid stuff, but there's also free stuff. And this is just low, man. I know that you're salty based on like all the stuff that you've written. But, you know, grow up. There's nothing wrong with Relic making a game and then selling things for the game. You know what I mean? Creating an ecosystem where they sell things for the game. And people buying them. It's their money. They can do with it as they please. You know what I mean? You can't. What are you gonna do? Like tell people what they can and can't spend their money on? Yeah, this is completely shut down by the fact that there is free stuff in the shop as well. Right? And people want to make their tanks look cool. I want my tiger to be the most badass tiger rolling across the map as it blows up everybody. Okay? I'm one of those people too. And I'm sure they're going to have like community people build skins. This is like actually a fun and good thing that I think is healthy for the community. Stop being a baby. Stop making like accusations because you're unhappy with some, like, make it known. If you want your money back for the game, then Relic, I think you should give him his money back. You know, maybe they decide to do it, maybe they don't. It's just like any product, any other product you would buy. Okay. If I go to the store tomorrow, okay, and I buy this dustpan, I'm like, oh, this seems like a good dustpan. And then I use it once and it breaks in half. And then I go back to the store and I go, I used this thing once and it broke in half. What the heck? And they're going to be like, I don't know what you did with this thing. I'm not taking it back. Come back to the real world. Okay? There are people on this earth you can never make happy. And I don't want Relic wasting their time on the losers that they can't make happy because they just don't want to be happy. All right? I want them to make a game that is sound and good and that we can play for years, and we can support them by buying cool stuff to like swag off in said game. And then everybody wins. Okay? But all this constructive, well, somewhat backhanded, although some of these are pretty constructive and valid points, was ruined in this one line by accusing somebody of just being greedy. Why would they listen to you? Why should they listen to you when you're just going to call them greedy? I think you should come in here. If you can edit this, you should just come in and delete this. Everything above it was great. Even though you had a little bit of I detected somewhat of a negative attitude, you know, just by the way he phrased it. And that's okay. It's okay to be like, I'm disappointed. And so if this comes off as negative or like that I'm angry, it's because I am. Just be forthright. Don't be a fucking child. Be a grown up. Express your issues and the problems you have with people's work. And just tell them and make clear your expectations. Right? These people are not mind readers. And sometimes just because we have an idea doesn't mean that like it's not going to cause issues in other parts of the game. It's up to them to be creative and solve some of these issues in those instances. But yeah, I don't know. There's no reason to be toxic. It's not helpful to anyone. I think it just, what are you going to do? Okay. I believe I have opined far too long on this. If you got any questions, comments, concerns on anything that I brought up, just crumple it up and throw it in the garbage, all right? I'll see you next time. Bye.